Okay, everyone. I've never done this before. I'm going to try to make a little video here to help out guys on my clan. If you get into the mission editor, go to AA game. First thing you want to do is right click on AA game and do fully load. And you see the number up here is like 3,000 something. Take a tiny bit of time here. As you see all these different file names going by, they're everything from, as you see now, it's 17,000 up there. These are all your vehicles, sounds, materials, everything you need for making a map. Okay, you want to minimize that. This is blank, I don't have anything. I will open up a test map here that I'm working on. And I will go find, I will double click, open this map. This is just something I'm fooling with. Don't know what to say. I've tried some water tests with it, some other things. We'll see how it comes out. As you see, this was made in the mission editor, and I set it up as a death match, and amount of players like a flow. I'm going to experiment and trying to make it all sniper and designated marksman. And what I'm going to try to do now is set up what's called a reverb volume and add some ambient sound to that. So first thing you do is go to your build a brush, which go down here where it says go to builder brush. Click on that, and there is my builder brush. Always make sure in this editor, to make life easier for you, that you have multiple things turned on. View. In your view, make sure that you have draw brush marker polys turned on. That will give you that red effect there. So, well, it'll give you the ability to do some things. And you also want to make sure up here that you have toggle brush polygons on, and that gives you this red brush effect. Okay, what I'm going to do here now is make a reverb volume. Not real good at all this. I've only done it a time or two. There's other perspectives. This is the perspective view right here, where you can see it's called lit. I have it lit, as you see up here. Is perspective in real time. And these are just different things. If I switch them, you see that. You see different things. That would be the unlit, and that would be the lit perspective. This is generally what you'd work in this perspective here. As you notice with this brush, it has the redness. If I take it here, I've already probably been using this brush for something, that's why it's so large. As I go down, you'll see the red disappearing at some point. There you go. Now you know that I'm below grade with part of the brush. So that's kind of how that works. And you will want to learn to work in these other perspectives. I have this brush highlighted here. I go to actors. Everything is pretty much called an actor, one way or another. Even a brush. There are add brushes, there are delete brushes. But whatever you do, that's your builder brush. If you go to actors, as you've seen, it brought it up in all perspectives. If you right click, you can kind of move around and you can zoom in and out. These windows generally work together. This one seems to be independent the way I have it set up. Okay, as you see, if you look into this perspective view, I can maximize this. You see that there are these boxes around this are your boundaries. You can't get out of them. It's those invisible walls that you run into that you can never figure out why. In this situation here, I'm going to want to center my brush kind of where I'm working. So I kind of got that going on. This is going to show me where I'm at. If you look here, these lines are those invisible, they're called blocking volumes that are around the edges. And my brush is setting above that right now. So if I want to enlarge this brush, go into perspective mode here and take a look. The brush could be a little larger. So let me go over to the end. You always need to turn on geometric mode. This little box pops up. I'm not sure all these functions, but for now it'll work. If I click on the end, now that is the entire end that has been highlighted. So I'm going to fly above it, get a little perspective, and use this arrow, and I'm going to pull it out to here. So now you see that's, I could do the same thing to this end. In this reverb volume, because of what it's used for, you could just make it a little bigger than everything around. It doesn't technically matter. It's a sound volume, so just make sure that it's bigger than where people play. That's basically how it works. If you look from here, you get a little bit of perspective. The brush is very very difficult to use to get an understanding, and then it's a lot simpler than it appears. I got that face. I pull this over here. Like I say, I fly back up, take a look. Okay, I'm outside of all the boundaries there. So the brush is not very thick, so I know I'm going to need it a lot thicker. So I'm just going to click on the top of it. You can see the red highlight. And I'm just going to make it really tall. So I know it's quite tall enough for what I need. That's about the limit I can go there. Okay, now, because of this geometric mode, you could pull corners around and you could get yourself all twisted up. So you might want to just shut that off. Go to your perspective here. Now, like I say, just hit go to actor. Everybody's centered out. Now, if you look again at what we were looking at here, as you see, I'm over these volumes, so nobody can get outside of that, so it really doesn't matter. Here we're setting above it. This is called a front view because of the F up there, and this is called a side view. As you see, some of these things get to be extremely overwhelming. Let's see if this is just another little tip. First thing I want to do is I want to get this window active. You see, there's the tops of my my barriers. So I'm just going to bring this down till I know that I'm somewhere around the top of that barrier. Just trying to get an idea. It should be it. It's really the bottom that's the most important in this one. Expand it back up. Take a look. So you could see, how we're missing some of the red, so we know it's definitely down. You can also do it from this mode. It's okay to do it, but just make sure that you've use that other mode, because the other modes really do give you a little better perspective on things. A little easier to deal with, and some things you can only do in those. Okay, now I have this builder brush where I want it. I'm going to go over here to volume. I'm going to right click on volume. And you see there's all kinds of them. Some I have no idea what they do yet myself. I'm still learning. AA blocking volume, that's the invisible walls that you can't get through. If you go down, you'll see here, if you're going to do a ladder, that would be used to help you with the ladder. But what we're looking for here is reverb volume. We really don't care about toggleable. Not sure how it's used. I hit reverb volume. Now I lift up my builder brush and take it out of the way. Let's say lift it up. Man, let's just get it out of the way. Okay, now you see there's this yellow box around it. Okay, now if you click on the yellow box is highlighted. If you look over here, here's the red builder brush. There's other options to tell that to go away also. And then if you push F4, there's the information on your reverb volume. And what you're going to want to do is bring in some form of a sound that you might be interested in using. So let's close this. And we'll go back to this browser window. Okay, General Ambient Sounds. Okay, I have already loaded these options in what's called Kismet. That's a whole nother video on its own. Let's go look for what we want. Let's go stereo reverb volume. You could play each one of these if you right click and hit play. You know, I don't know if you'd be able to hear it or not in with this recording. And it depends on which bank I have that going in. But you want to look for a sound you would like, and then let's say these are outdoor, these are indoor. In my situation, I'm going to want an outdoor, and you're going to want to start. These are stops. You're going to want to start. So if you look up here, it's play, number 1, indoor. You know, this is a cave sound. This is indoor sounds. This is an outdoor sound. So play outdoor 1. Let's say we click on play outdoor 1. You see how it was highlighted. Go to F4. And then you'd want to put in the sound that you would want this reverb volume to use. This is an ambient, like a little bit of wind, you know, maybe some background sounds and things like that. So you're going to want to go to, let's see, which one do we want? I would think we'd want a touch event because that was a start. This little yellow green arrow here says use selected object in content browser. As you see, now I've put in here AK event, ambient, outdoor, Gen 1. Okay, so now let's go find Gen 2. Go back to our browser. Or I'm sorry, let's find the stop volume. There's number 1. And this appears to be stop ambient indoor. We want stop ambient outdoor. Stop ambient outdoor Gen 1. Click on that. How you move around in here a lot of times is, you know, what's comfortable with you. Untouch event, that means if you walk out of the map, well, that ain't really happening. So, but it's always good practice to have them both in there because it may not work correctly. America's Army, and especially this editor, has some strange effects. Of course, the green arrow, and now you see I have the stop event in there. So you got play in the touch event, and you've got stop in the untouch event. So okay, so we're set up for ambient sound in our map. and I will show you how to load some load banks in the next video. Let me see how this one come out. Like I say, I'm just doing this for some of my friends and stuff that play the game with me. So quality may be lacking. All right. Thank you for watching the video.